couple of weeks ago, we reviewed the Insurer Report Card by the Crash Network. Today, we have a story of two insurance companies involved in a single car crash, and we want to know, how did they do when it came to earning their rank?
You decide.
Hey, good morning, Rob.
Good morning, Eric. Good morning, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. We really appreciate you.
This is an interesting story that we have for our viewers today because somebody got into an accident, and the at-fault party's insurance, you would think, is responsible to pay for the repair.
They are responsible to pay for the repair.
But it seems that this insurance company, and stick with us, we'll tell you who it is, isn't living up to their responsibility.
Not so much.
And it's a
Okay.
story that we hear over and over again.
Yeah, that's the truth. And so everybody knows, the person that hit this other person,
Yeah.
it's the person that's responsible for the loss.
Yes.
The fact that they have insurance is kind of a bonus. It's a nice thing, but in the end, the person that caused the damage is ultimately responsible.
I think that's a nuance that most people forget about. They just think that these other companies here pay each other and do the things. But in fact, it's the person who drove into the back end of the other person that is responsible
The
for making.
at-fault party.
Yes, got it.
The at-fault party is responsible. The fact that they may or may not have insurance, good insurance or bad insurance,
Yeah.
really only sets the tone for how things are going to progress.
All right. So let's set this up, because this is a real case that came to us.
I love talking about real stories.
Absolutely. Uh, Somebody was involved in an accident, and the at-fault party had an insurer who finds their way on the insurer report card.
Yep.
And I'll put a link up here as well as down in the description box. Their insurer, the at-fault party's insurer, is State Farm, right?
Yep.
And just in case you want to know where they land up on the insurer report card, Rob, it's
81 out of 97.
ooh,
They're kind of close to the bottom
yeah,
of the list.
yeah, they sure are.
So
All right, so let's start with this part of the story.
yeah.
Um, the guest came to us,
Yep.
brought their vehicle to us,
Yep.
and we did an assessment of it.
We did. 2022 Toyota Tundra. We're Toyota certified. We know how Toyota wants their cars fixed, and we know how to fix Toyotas properly. And when I go over the estimate, I'm going to talk about a few things that you should look out for. And if you see these things on your estimate, raise an eyebrow at the very, very least.
Absolutely.
We looked over this car, wrote a thorough repair plan to fix it properly the way Toyota would want it fixed.
Right.
So it's going to last.
Yep.
And you're not going to have to worry about the repairs in the future. And you're not going to see that the vehicle was repaired, because if you can see the vehicle's been repaired, the job's not been done right.
That's exactly right.
So, that's kind of our little policy here. But we wrote a little over 10,100 and change
Okay.
to repair this Toyota Tundra, and sent it in to State Farm. Our estimate.
Responsible parties.
Responsible party.
Insurer.
Yep. And a few days, 4 or 5 days later, the adjuster comes out from the insurance company, a staff appraiser, and looks at the vehicle, goes over our estimate, has a conversation with the person that wrote the estimate, and basically, I have my parameters I have to write within, and they're not going to match yours. So
yeah, that's code for buckle up.
Yeah, buckle up.
Or bend over.
So later in the day, we receive his estimate, Now keep in mind, I'll just remind you, we wrote $10,100 and some change. He writes $4,800.
Wow, that's a significant difference.
And so now, somehow we have to deliver the news to the guest. So
We're $5,000 apart.
yeah. So we deliver the news, and the guest naturally is very, very upset. You know, if he wanted to stay with going through this insurance company, uh, it would be a very, very long process. I have cars sitting here for months that haven't been touched because of this very thing.
Right.
We can talk more about that.
Right.
But yeah, what insurance company do you have? Maybe we just go through yours and let yours subrogate against the other party.
That's a big word you just used, subrogate. What does that mean?
That means that in the end, when all the dust settles, uh, his own insurance company is going to go after State Farm to collect what they paid.
I see.
So that's subrogation.
Well, the big question is, who does this guy have?
Well, I don't know. Maybe he was watching one of my videos, because he's got AIG,
AIG.
which is a very, very good company.
Let's find out where they list or rank on the insurer report card.
They are number 9 out of the top 10
Number 9
in the country. So, and we'll let you figure out who's earned their score. So
who did the ranking of the
shops across the nation,
technicians, management, ownership?
Whoever at that shop filled out the survey.
Gotcha.
Generally, it's estimators, the people that are actually dealing with the insurance companies.
All right.
So he turns it into his own company, AIG, and within a day, AIG reaches out to us. Our estimate is approved in full. Parts are ordered. Vehicles going to the front of the line.
Wow.
There's nothing. There's no nothing. It's approved.
You want to see the difference? I mean, the night and day difference between working with a good company and working with a company that doesn't give a flying rip. This is a great example.
And wait,
there's more.
There's more.
Oh.
If you're going through your own policy, you'll have a deductible.
Yeah.
So you get to pay the first whatever you picked, 250, 500, 1,000, whatever deductible you picked. AIG says, yeah, we're waiving the deductible. So when he comes to pick up his car, he has to pay nothing.
Nothing out of pocket, because he was the victim.
Yes. And they're going to handle the whole thing, and they'll deal with State Farm and their crazy way of doing what they do.
And folks, we're not advocating that you get into an accident with somebody other than yourself at fault so that you can do this thing, right? Isn't it nice to know that you have this available and it's possible to leverage a good, integrity-filled company against those guys that aren't so good at
towards the bottom of the list
neighborhoods?
Yeah. So I think that you would agree that everybody's earned their score so far.
Yeah.
And wait,
there's more.
So I looked, just briefly looked through. Well, it doesn't take very long to look through this very small estimate from State Farm. But reconditioned wheel, no, we don't use those. And there's 2 items on here that I really want you to pay attention to. They have to rope the back glass. So way back a long, long time ago, when a windshield or a glass was put in, we call them a stationary glass, because it doesn't move. The molding around that glass, you'd be able to pull back a little bit, stick some actual rope underneath it, and then paint, and then take the rope out, and then it sits on top of the paint line.
Okay.
That's been so long gone. So long gone.
But the terminology has stayed.
Yeah. Here it is, line 42, rope for paint.
Hmm.
If you see rope for paint, your car is not going to get repaired properly.
Danger.
Yeah. And then they have on the roof, because this does not have a roof molding, it's got seam seal across the roof. They have to precision mask the roof edge.
Hmm.
That's French for leave a paint line that will eventually deteriorate and start chipping.
And it'll also diminish your value of your car. And if you want to know more about
Greatly.
diminished value, take a look at last week's video.
Yeah.
After this one.
Yeah. And so it's known across the country you have the right to choose your repair facility. That doesn't mean the insurance company is going to agree with your repair facility, and there's not going to be a riff, there. But you have the right to choose your own repair facility.
Right.
You can choose one of their approved ones.
Don't do that.
Or you can choose one that you know and is going to fix your car properly.
Better choice.
But what the insurance companies do is this particular vehicle is going to need a blind spot monitor calibration.
Okay.
And we do Toyota blind spot calibrations here with the Toyota equipment, the Toyota computer that plugs into your car, the stands or with the cones that the radar reflects off of.
As a Toyota certified shop, you have to
all
do it.
Toyota.
Yeah. Okay, gotcha.
It's all Toyota. And wait.
There's more?
There's more. Don't forget the space needed to do all of this. And wait.
There's more?
There's more. The training needed. I've sent this person all over the country for training through Toyota and other sources.
Now wait a minute, Rob. I think I saw somewhere that some shops will come out and do your calibrations in the parking lot.
Well, yes. So they won't pay what we charge. So even though you brought it to us,
the insurer won't pay.
The insurer will not pay what we charge. Now, we don't charge a whole lot more than what they have on here.
Yeah.
But they won't pay that.
Okay.
They'll only pay, in this particular case, $300.
Uh-huh.
And they give us a list of 4 or 5 places with the phone numbers that we can call and have them come here and do the blind spot monitor calibration.
Here?
Yeah.
With their mobile equipment?
Yes. Yep. And so there's lots to know, and I think we did a video on calibrations and the fact that there's so many different, if you read the procedures on how these calibrations need to be done, by the way, these are safety systems.
Right.
You really cannot do them outside, out in the parking lot with the sun, and
uneven
it has
surfaces.
To be controlled lighting and no big reflections and so on and so forth. I don't even want to.
But it's just another way that the insurer is finding a way to say no, not wanting to pay for the proper repair, but instead wanting to maximize their profits so that they are the ones who are the beneficiaries of your accident in some way or form.
Yeah.
And Rob, that's frustrating. So let's go back to the story of the 2 insurance companies. You got AIG in the top 10. You got and that's the victim's insurance company. The responsible party's insurance is down at the very bottom of the list somewhere, right? So they decided to file the claim with AIG.
Yes.
AIG stepped up the next day, said yes, paid the claim, car's in production, and we're on our way.
Yes.
Right.
So, and here's a couple other things. By them just paying the estimate, there's no talk about aftermarket parts, which State Farm has all over their estimate.
Right.
So now so let's just recap that for a second.
Yeah.
If the guy went through State Farm he'd now have aftermarket parts on his car that he didn't have before the accident. So his car is worth even less.
Right.
And it wasn't his fault.
Yeah.
And he's got to live with that. Goes through his own company, which he chose a great company. There's no discussion of any procedures, any how to do it, any type of parts used. There's no talk about any of that.
Yeah.
It's just pay the bill, get the car fixed, get the guest back on the road, fix it properly.
Stamp,
Done.
approved, done. Isn't that what you want from your insurer? I mean, if you, God forbid, you ever need your insurer to step up and make you whole, you want it to be like that.
Yeah. You just want to pick up the phone and say, hey, something unfortunate happened and here's where I'm at.
Yeah.
And then let them say, okay, we got you. So anyway, there we have it. I just want to give a shout out to all of you that have been contacting me and reaching out for advice and so on and so forth. I'm grateful. I love to have the conversations. Some of you going through some pretty tough times. It's great to get to know you
Yeah.
and see how we can lend a hand.
Absolutely.
So thank you for that.
Yep. And
Appreciate it.
thanks for sticking with us all the way to the end. Hey, if you liked this video and you appreciate the value that we give, take a look at this video coming up. It's probably worth your while as well. Rob?
Eric, have an amazing day. My friends, have an amazing week. We'll see you next Saturday. God bless.